My girlfriend said, "Oh, you're literally the last person I'd marry." The words cut through me like a knife during our friend's dinner party. 8 people around the table went completely silent, their eyes darting between us while I forced the most uncomfortable laugh of my life. "Well, thanks for the brutal honesty," I managed, reaching for my wine glass with a hand that was definitely shaking. Jessica just shrugged, not even looking embarrassed. "I mean, come on, Luke. You work the night shift at a gas station. I have standards." She said it like I wasn't even sitting right there. Her friends, Courtney and Kimberly, exchanged glances. These were the same friends who constantly bragged about their lawyer and doctor boyfriends, the ones Jessica always compared me to. I'd been saving every single penny from those overnight shifts, living on ramen and store-brand everything just to buy her the ring I'd been looking at for months. 3 years together, and she'd never talked about my job like that. Sure, it wasn't glamorous, but I worked my ass off. 60-hour weeks dealing with drunk customers and gas and go thieves, all while taking business classes online during my breaks. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her words kept replaying in my head like a broken record. Last person I'd marry. The worst part, she'd said it so casually, like stating the weather. The next morning, my phone rang at 7 a.m. My manager, Greg, sounding more excited than I'd ever heard him. "Luke, you sitting down? The station's been sold. Some big development company bought the whole block. They're putting in a shopping mall." I rubbed my eyes, still half asleep. "Okay, so we're all fired." "Not exactly. See, there's this thing called a settlement payout. You've been here 5 years, full-time employee, so according to the lawyers." He paused for dramatic effect. "Your check should be around $850,000. I dropped the phone. $850,000 from pumping gas and restocking energy drinks? Life-changing money that would let me start the business I'd been dreaming about, maybe even buy a house. But I didn't tell Jessica immediately. Something about her comment made me want to wait and watch, see who she really was when she thought I was still just the broke gas station guy. Over the next week, I observed her like a scientist studying a specimen. She complained about our cheap dates at Applebee's, rolled her eyes when I suggested cooking dinner instead of ordering takeout, made little passive-aggressive digs about my dead-end job and lack of ambition. My sister's boyfriend just got promoted to partner. She mentioned Tuesday night scrolling through Instagram. They're looking at houses in Westfield now. "That's nice," I said, watching her face. "Yeah, it's just nice to see someone with actual goals, you know." Friday night, she came home with shopping bags from expensive stores. "Where'd you get the money for that?" I asked. "Oh, my mom helped out, said I deserved to treat myself." She avoided eye contact. I later found the credit card receipt in her purse. $400 charged to our joint account, the account I'd been putting money into for emergencies. The settlement check arrived on a Thursday. I stared at it for a full 10 minutes. This piece of paper that represented financial freedom. That evening, Jessica brought up marriage again while we watched Netflix. "Maybe when you get a real career," she said, not even pausing her Instagram scrolling to look at me. I mean, I can't exactly tell people my husband pumps gas for a living. I felt something inside me snap. "Actually, I have something to tell you about my career." I walked to the kitchen, grabbed the settlement letter, and placed it in front of her. Her phone clattered to the floor as she read it. $850,000 from a gas station land development settlement. Jessica was mid-celebration when my phone actually did buzz. It was Courtney, her best friend from the dinner party. "I need to talk to you, alone, now." Her message read, "Before Jessica spends that money." I showed Jessica the text. She went rigid, face draining of color. "Don't you dare answer that," she hissed, reaching for my phone. "Courtney's just jealous. She's always been jealous of us." But another message came through, this one with a photo attached. I clicked it before Jessica could stop me. It showed Jessica and some guy I'd never seen before kissing outside a restaurant downtown. Timestamp from 2 days ago. My hands went numb. I just stared at the screen, at Jessica pressed up against this stranger in what looked like a pretty expensive suit, his hands on her waist, her arms around his neck. The timestamp in the corner read Tuesday, 9:47 p.m. Tuesday was my late shift. I didn't get home until 3 a.m. Jessica grabbed for my phone, but I pulled back. "Who is that?" My voice came out way calmer than I felt. "Luke, I can explain." She was already crying, which honestly just pissed me off more. "That's not what it looks like." "Really?" I held up the phone. "Because it looks like you're making out with some random dude while I'm at work." "He's not random." She covered her face. "Oh my god, this is so bad." Another message from Courtney popped up. "I'm so sorry, Luke. I should have told you sooner. She's been seeing him for weeks. His name is Brandon." Jessica's face went white. "Courtney sent you that?" "Yeah." I scrolled up. "She says she's seen you two together multiple times. You want to keep lying or you want to tell me the truth? It just happened, okay?" Jessica's voice got defensive. "You're never around. You're always working those stupid overnight shifts, and I needed someone who actually had time for me. So you cheated on me." I said it flat, no emotion. "Don't say it like that." "How should I say it then?" I was getting loud now. "You've been sneaking around with another guy while I'm working 60-hour weeks to save money for us, for a ring, for our future. And meanwhile, you're telling me I'm the last person you'd marry?" She started crying harder, but I didn't care anymore. My phone kept buzzing. More messages from Courtney coming through. "Luke, there's more you need to know. She's been lying about a lot of things. Can I call you?" I answered immediately. Courtney's voice was shaky. I'm so sorry. I should have said something at the dinner party, but Jessica's my best friend and I didn't know how. Just tell me everything. I was staring at Jessica the whole time. She'd gone completely still. Okay, so Courtney took a breath. His name is Brandon. He works in finance. Jessica met him at one of Kimberly's networking events like a month and a half ago. I've seen them together at least 4 or 5 times, always when you're working nights. Jessica lunged for the phone, but I dodged her. Keep going, I told Courtney. She's been bragging about it, to Kimberly mostly. She called it her backup plan. If you never got money or success, she was going to leave you for Brandon. But if you somehow got successful, she'd keep Brandon on the side. My stomach turned. You're lying, Jessica screamed. Courtney, you're such a fucking liar. I'm not lying and you know it. Courtney's voice got firm. You literally said it to my face last week. You said Luke was a temporary placeholder until someone better came along. Those were your exact words. I hung up. I couldn't listen to anymore. Jessica was full-on sobbing now, but it felt fake. Like she was more upset about getting caught than actually sorry. How long? I asked. What? How long have you been seeing him? She wiped her eyes. It's not serious, Luke. It's just he takes me to nice places and buys me things and makes me feel special. You never do that anymore. Because I'm working. I was yelling now. I'm working my ass off to build a life for us and you're out here cheating on me because what? I don't take you to fancy enough restaurants? You don't understand. She was shaking her head. Brandon has a real career. He's going somewhere. He treats me like I'm worth something. And I don't? Not like he does. She said it so casually, like it was obvious. He bought me that bracelet I showed you last week. And those bags on Friday? That was from him, not my mom. So you've been lying about everything. I felt sick. How many times have you seen him? I don't know. Maybe 10 times? 15? She wouldn't look at me. But we haven't slept together, okay? It's just dinners and stuff. Do you think I'm stupid? I held up my phone. This picture looks pretty intimate for just dinners. Fine. She threw her hands up. A few times, okay? But it didn't mean anything. I needed to feel wanted and you were never around. So, this is my fault. I laughed, but it wasn't funny. I'm working overnight shifts to save money for us and somehow that makes it okay for you to cheat? You're twisting my words. No, I'm understanding them perfectly. I grabbed my jacket. I'm done. Wait. Her whole tone changed. Luke, wait. Where are you going? Anywhere but here. She grabbed my arm. Luke, please. I made a mistake, okay? Can we just talk about this? There's nothing to talk about. I pulled away. You've been lying to me for weeks, cheating on me, making me feel like shit about my job, and now you're trying to blame me for your choices. We're done. But what about the money? And there it was. Her mask slipped completely. What about us? We can fix this. I'll cut contact with Brandon. I'll do whatever you want. You think this is about the money? I almost laughed. You literally called me the last person you'd marry 3 days ago. Now suddenly you want to fix things because I have a settlement check? That's not. She faltered. I just mean we've been together 3 years. That has to count for something. It counted before you decided to cheat on me. I opened the door. Pack your shit and get out. My name is on the lease too. She was following me now. You can't just kick me out. Fine. Then I'm leaving. I pulled out my phone and called my sister Amy. Hey, can I crash at your place tonight? Of course. Amy sounded worried. What happened? I'll tell you when I get there. I was already walking to my car. Jessica was standing in the doorway crying, but I didn't care anymore. Luke, please, she yelled after me. We can work this out. I got in my car and drove away without looking back. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. 3 years. 3 fucking years of my life with someone who thought I wasn't good enough, who cheated on me the second someone with more money showed interest, who straight up told me I was her backup plan. When I got to Amy's place, she took one look at my face and pulled me inside. What happened? I showed her everything. The messages from Courtney, the photo, the texts about Brandon. Amy got angrier with each screenshot. That absolute bitch. She was pacing now. I'm going to drive over there and don't. I collapsed on her couch. Just don't. I can't deal with any more drama tonight. She sat down next to me. I'm so sorry, Luke. You deserve so much better than her. Yeah. I stared at the ceiling. I really thought she loved me, you know. I was going to propose. With that money? Amy's eyes widened. No, before. I'd been saving for months. I was going to do it next month for our anniversary. I laughed bitterly. Good thing I found out what she really thought of me first. My phone started buzzing. Jessica was calling from different numbers, texting from various apps. All the same desperate messages. Luke, please, we need to talk. This is all a misunderstanding. I'm sorry. Please come home. I blocked every single one. Then I called the bank. I need to know about joint accounts and how to remove someone from them. Amy squeezed my shoulder. Good. Protect yourself first. That's exactly what I planned to do. The next morning, I was at the bank when they opened. The teller looked sympathetic when I explained I needed to close my joint account. You can withdraw your funds, but you can't remove the other person without their signature. So I withdrew everything, every single cent I'd put in there, which was basically all of it anyway, since Jessica never contributed. I opened a new personal account at a completely different bank and deposited the settlement check there. The manager congratulated me and suggested I meet with their financial advisor. Smart move on the new account. She handed me my paperwork. And congratulations on the settlement. That's life-changing money. Yeah, I managed a real smile for the first time since last night. It really is. My phone rang. Courtney again. Hey, I just wanted to apologize again. I should have told you way sooner. Why now? I asked. Why tell me it all? Because Jessica sent a group text to everyone. Courtney sounded angry. She's telling people you kicked her out after getting money and won't share your settlement with her. She's making you look like the bad guy. Are you serious? I almost dropped my phone. She cheated on me. I know. That's why I'm calling. She's lying to everyone, saying she supported you through your struggles and now you're abandoning her. Kimberly's backing her up too. My jaw clenched. Can you send me any proof? Screenshots? Anything? Already done. Check your email. Courtney paused. Luke, I'm really sorry. Jessica's been my friend since college, but this is wrong. She's been bragging about having 2 guys interested in her. She literally called it insurance, like you were her fallback option. I opened my email. Courtney had sent dozens of screenshots, messages where Jessica called me a temporary placeholder, photos of her and Brandon at expensive restaurants, text conversations where she told Kimberly that if I never made anything of myself, Brandon was her exit strategy. My hands were shaking again, but this time from anger. Can I use these? Use whatever you need. I'm done covering for her. The screenshots show everything, including when she said you were just charity case last month. Charity case. I had to laugh at that. After everything I did for her. I know. Listen, I feel terrible about this whole thing. She manipulated all of us. I appreciate you telling me. I really do. After we hung up, I sat in my car staring at all the evidence. Jessica had really been planning this for weeks, maybe months. All those little comments about my job, the comparisons to her friends' boyfriends, the eye rolls when I suggested cheap date nights. It all made sense now. I created a private group chat with everyone from the dinner party except Jessica and Kimberly. Then I sent everything. The timeline, Courtney's screenshots, the photos of Jessica and Brandon, the messages where she called me a placeholder. I added one message. Just wanted you all to know the real story before Jessica's lies spread too far. This is what really happened. The responses came fast. People were shocked. 2 of them reached out privately. Honestly, I always thought she treated you badly, one message read. I just didn't know how to bring it up. She made comments about you being her charity case before. The other person said, I felt so uncomfortable at that dinner when she said you were the last person she'd marry. That was cruel even before we knew about the cheating. I'm sorry we didn't say something. It's not your fault. I sent back to both of them. I just needed people to know the truth. Within an hour, Kimberly was blowing up my phone. How dare you air your relationship problems to everyone? You're being so petty, I responded calmly. Did you know about Brandon? She went silent for a full 5 minutes. Then, I introduced them at my event, but I didn't think anything would happen. So you knew. And you let Jessica lie about me while you knew she was cheating. Cool. Thanks for being such a great friend. She didn't respond after that. That afternoon, things got even weirder. Amy called me freaking out. Luke, Jessica is outside my house. What? I grabbed my keys. I'm coming over. She's not alone. Amy sounded confused. There's some guy with her. When I pulled up to Amy's place, I saw Jessica's car in the driveway, and standing next to her was a guy in an expensive suit. Brandon. Had to be. I got out slowly. Jessica saw me and her face crumpled. Luke, please, we need to talk. Brandon looked between us, clearly confused. This is him? The guy you were dating? Yeah, Jessica wiped her eyes. Luke, this is Brandon. I know who he is. I crossed my arms. What are you doing here, Jessica? I wanted to explain everything. She was using her soft voice, the one she used when she wanted something. And I thought, maybe if you met Brandon, you'd understand. It wasn't serious. We were just... Wait, Brandon held up his hand. He looked at Jessica. You told me he was your ex. You said you broke up months ago. Jessica's face went white. Well, technically, Brandon's expression changed. You said you were single? You said you left him because he wasn't treating you right. I stared at her. You told him what? Brandon turned to me. How much money did you get in that settlement? I blinked. What? She told me you were broke. Brandon was looking at Jessica now with disgust. She said you had no ambition, no money, nothing going for you. That's why she left. But someone just told me you got like $1 million or something? $850,000. The number felt weird to say out loud. But yeah, and you're just finding this out? Brandon started laughing, but it wasn't a happy sound. So you were keeping me as a backup in case he stayed broke, and you were going to keep him if he got rich. I was your side piece. Brandon, no. Jessica reached for him, but he stepped back. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. He looked at me. Dude, I'm sorry. I genuinely thought you two were done. She told me you were holding her back, that you worked a dead-end job and she needed to move on. I didn't know she was lying to both of us. I believe you. I did, actually. He looked as blindsided as I felt. She's good at lying. Brandon shook his head and walked to his car without another word. Jessica tried to follow him, but he got in and drove off. Then she turned back to me, completely falling apart. Luke, please. She was on Amy's front lawn now, literally on her knees. I'm sorry, okay? I made a mistake. I'm sorry about the dinner party comment. I'm sorry about Brandon. I'm sorry about everything. You have to forgive me. I don't have to do anything. I stayed by my car. But we've been together 3 years. She was screaming now. Neighbors starting to look. 3 years has to count for something. I helped you through so much. I supported you when you were struggling. I was there for you. You were there for me? I almost laughed. You literally just admitted you were planning to leave me if I stayed broke. You called me a charity case. You cheated on me for weeks and lied about it. What part of that is support? I deserve half that money. She stood up, face red. 3 years years of emotional support. That has to be worth something. Amy came outside. Jessica, you need to leave. Now. This doesn't concern you, Jessica yelled at her. You're on my property screaming like a crazy person. Amy pulled out her phone. Leave now or I'm calling the cops. You can't do this, Luke. Jessica turned back to me desperate. We can fix this. I'll do anything. Just give me another chance. No. I got back in my car. We're done, Jessica. Move on. I drove away while she was still screaming. Amy texted me 10 minutes later saying she finally left, but not before yelling at the neighbors and making a complete scene. The next few days were brutal. Jessica tried everything to contact me. She showed up at places she knew I might be. She sent messages through mutual friends. She even tried to get to me through Greg at the gas station, not knowing I'd already told him everything. But I stayed strong. Every time she tried to reach out, I blocked her. Every time someone tried to play mediator, I politely declined. I was done with her games. A week later, I had a meeting at the gas station to finalize my settlement. The coordinator went through all the paperwork, explained the taxes, and handed me my check. During the meeting, she mentioned something interesting. You're one of 5 employees getting a settlement. The amounts vary based on years of service, but your coworkers got payouts ranging from $200,000 to $900,000. Who got $900,000? I was curious. Tanya, the overnight manager at the North location. She's been there almost 8 years. She was practically jumping up and down when she found out. I bet $900,000 was insane. And your manager, Greg, got $1.2 million. The coordinator smiled. He's been here 12 years, so he got the biggest payout by far. Good for him. Greg was a solid guy who deserved every penny. After the meeting, Greg invited me to lunch. I agreed, needing a distraction from all the Jessica drama. We went to this little diner near the station and ordered burgers. So, Greg took a sip of his coffee. Hell of a week for you, huh? You could say that. I filled him in on everything that happened with Jessica. Greg listened quietly, nodding at all the right parts. When I finished, he leaned back. Can I tell you something? I went through almost the exact same thing about 10 years ago. Really? Really? He smiled sadly. I was dating this woman, thought we were solid. Then I got a smaller settlement from a different job. Nothing as big as this one, but enough to change my life. Suddenly she was super interested in planning our future, talking about houses and cars and vacations. Found out later she'd been seeing someone else the entire time, and only stayed when she found out about the money. What did you do? Cut her off completely. Greg picked up his burger, and you know what? Best decision I ever made. I used that settlement money to start a small logistics company. Last mile delivery stuff. It's grown pretty solid over the years. I didn't know you owned a business. Most people don't. He grinned. But here's the thing, Luke. You've got a real opportunity here. You can either spend the next year being bitter about Jessica, or you can focus on building something for yourself. I'm not saying forget about it, because that shit hurts. But don't let her take any more of your time than she already has. That's good advice. And speaking of opportunities, Greg pulled out his phone and showed me some papers. I'm looking to expand the logistics company. I need someone who understands operations, someone who's worked ground level and knows what actually happens in the field. Someone like you. You interested in a partnership? I stared at him. Are you serious? Dead serious. You'd invest $150,000 for a 25% stake. You'd handle operations management while I focus on business development, and my other partners handle the financial side. We're specializing in last mile delivery, and we're about to expand into 3 new cities. $150,000 is a lot of money. It is. But this isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is a legitimate business with real contracts and steady growth. You'd be part owner, not just an employee. And honestly, your experience from the gas station, that matters. You know how to handle logistics, difficult customers, tight scheduling. That's exactly what we need. I thought about it for maybe 30 seconds. When can I sign? Greg laughed and shook my hand. I'll have my lawyer draft the papers this week. That evening, I went back to Amy's feeling better than I had in days. I had a plan now, a real plan for my future that had nothing to do with Jessica or her bullshit. I also had to deal with the apartment situation. Our lease was in both our names, and I didn't want to keep paying for a place I wasn't living in. I called the landlord and explained what happened, leaving out the worst details. The landlord was surprisingly understanding. Look, I get it. Relationships end badly sometimes. I can let you out early with just 1 month penalty instead of the usual 3. Sound fair? More than fair. Thank you. I started looking for a new apartment in a different part of town, somewhere Jessica would never randomly run into me, somewhere I could actually start fresh. 2 days later, Jessica's cousin called me. Luke, I just wanted to apologize on behalf of the family. We had no idea about any of this. Jessica's mother is mortified. I appreciate that. I kept my voice neutral. She wants to talk to you. The cousin hesitated. Would you be willing to speak with her? I'd rather not. No offense to your family, but I'm trying to move forward. Talking to Jessica's mom would just drag me back into all this. I understand. The cousin sighed. For what it's worth, we're all really sorry. She lied to us too. Said you abandoned her after getting money. She's lying to everyone. At this point, I wasn't even surprised, I know. We found out the truth from some of her friends. I just wanted you to know that we don't support what she did. She's always been difficult, but this is beyond anything we expected. After that call, I checked social media for the first time in days. Big mistake. Jessica had been posting these vague, sad updates about betrayal and heartbreak, making herself look like the victim. Her posts were getting tons of sympathy from people who didn't know the real story. But then I scrolled through the comments. Some of her friends from the dinner party were leaving cryptic messages that clearly called out her lies. Nothing direct, just things like hope you're okay and healing. But remember, honesty is important, and some people know the real story. Kimberly was defending Jessica in every comment thread, which just made her look worse. Then Courtney absolutely snapped. She left a long, detailed comment under one of Jessica's posts explaining exactly what happened. The cheating, the lies, the cruel comments about me, everything. The post went viral within our social circle, like everyone saw it. Jessica's carefully crafted victim narrative collapsed completely. People started unfriending her, leaving their own comments about how disappointed they were, calling her out for lying. Several mutual friends reached out to apologize for initially believing Jessica's version. I didn't hold it against them. Jessica was good at manipulation. The next week I found an apartment. It was in a way nicer neighborhood than where Jessica and I had lived. One bedroom but spacious with actual good lighting and new appliances. I signed the lease on the spot. Amy helped me move my stuff out of the old apartment while Jessica was at work. We were in and out in 2 hours, taking only what was mine. I left Jessica's stuff exactly where it was and put the keys on the counter with a note. You have the apartment until the lease ends in 3 months. After that, you're on your own. My phone buzzed constantly while we moved. Messages from Jessica from random numbers, social media accounts I'd already blocked, even email, all desperate, all the same bullshit about how sorry she was, how we could fix this, how I was making a mistake. I ignored every single one. That afternoon, Brandon texted me out of nowhere. Hey man, I wanted to apologize again. I genuinely had no idea she was still with you. She completely manipulated me too. I believe you. I really did. No hard feelings? None. And hey, if you ever need someone to verify the timeline of the affair or anything, I'm happy to confirm what I know. Though honestly, it sounds like you don't need my help with that. I appreciate the offer, but you're right. I have plenty of proof. Take care of yourself. You too. And congrats on the settlement. Use it wisely, I plan to. That week I met with 2 different financial advisors. The first one wanted to put everything into high-risk stocks. The second one seemed more reasonable, suggesting I split it up. $100,000 for living expenses and emergencies, $200,000 for business investment and entrepreneurship, and the rest in a diversified portfolio with a mix of stocks, bonds, and index funds. I went with the second advisor. It felt smart, balanced. I wasn't trying to get rich quick. I just wanted financial security and the freedom to build something real. Greg called me that Friday. Papers are ready. Can you meet me Monday to sign? Absolutely. Monday morning, I walked into Greg's lawyer's office and signed my name on about 20 different documents. Just like that, I was a 25% owner of a growing logistics company. My $150,000 investment was officially in. The business specializes in last-mile delivery, Greg explained as we left the lawyer's office. We pick up from distribution centers and deliver directly to customers. With everyone shopping online now, the demand is insane. We can barely keep up. What's my first project? Developing an app interface. Right now, customers have to call or check our website to track deliveries. We need a real-time tracking app that shows exactly where their package is, just like the big companies have. I can do that. I'd taken enough business and coding classes to figure it out, or at least hire someone who could. That's what I'm counting on. Greg clapped me on the shoulder. Welcome aboard, partner. 2 months flew by. I threw myself into work like I'd never worked before, but this time it felt different. I wasn't just clocking in and out at a gas station. I was building something, creating something. The app development took up most of my time. I hired a freelance developer and worked with them daily to design the interface, test functionality, and fix bugs. Meanwhile, the logistics company was growing fast. We landed 3 major contracts with local retailers who needed reliable delivery services. My $150,000 investment started showing returns way faster than anyone expected. We were actually profitable within the first 6 weeks I joined, which apparently was unusual for this kind of business expansion. Amy told me through the grapevine that Jessica was dating someone new, another finance guy. Surprise, surprise. According to mutual friends who still had her on social media, she was already posting pictures with expensive gifts and talking about marriage. I felt absolutely nothing. No jealousy, no anger, just relief that I dodged that bullet. One afternoon, I ran into someone from the dinner party at a coffee shop. We made awkward eye contact, and I figured they'd pretend not to see me, but they actually came over. Hey, Luke. They looked uncomfortable. How are you? Good, actually. Really good. I gestured to the seat across from me. Want to sit? They did, ordering a drink before settling in. So I wanted to say, I'm sorry for not speaking up at that dinner. What Jessica said was cruel, and we all just sat there. It's fine. Water under the bridge. It's not fine, though. They stirred their coffee. The whole friend group fell apart after your situation went public. Kimberly and Courtney aren't speaking. Half of us stopped hanging out entirely. There was just too much drama and lying. I'm not missing anything then. I meant it. No, you're really not. They smiled sadly. Honestly, you seem way happier happier now than you ever did with her. I am. I thought about my new apartment, my business partnership, my actual future. I really am. They left after a bit, and I sat there finishing my coffee, thinking about how much had changed in just a few months. The gas station felt like a lifetime ago, even though I'd only left recently. Jessica felt like a bad dream I'd finally woken up from. The logistics company kept growing. 6 months in, we hired 5 new employees and opened a second location across town. My app launched and immediately made operations smoother. Customers loved being able to track their deliveries in real time, and our client satisfaction scores jumped significantly. Greg pulled me aside one day. "You know what? You're the best operations manager we've ever had. Better than my other 2 partners combined. I wouldn't go that far. I would. You actually understand the ground level work because you've done it. You know what drivers deal with, what customers need, what actually works versus what just sounds good in a meeting. That's invaluable." I felt genuinely proud. Thanks, Greg. That means a lot. One day I got a text from my old coworker from the gas station, the one who'd also gotten a settlement, though a smaller one around $300,000. "Hey man, can I ask you something about the settlement money? I'm not sure what to do with mine." We met for coffee the next day. He looked stressed, running his hands through his hair while we talked. "So what's going on?" I asked. "It's my girlfriend." He grimaced. "Ever since I got the money, she's been different. More affectionate, talking about our future, wanting to move in together. But before the settlement, she was pretty distant. Always said she wasn't ready for commitment. Red flag, right?" He nodded. "I don't know if I'm being paranoid or if she's actually just interested in the money." I told him everything about Jessica, the whole story, start to finish. His eyes got wider with each detail. "Dude," he sat back. "That's exactly what's happening with me. She keeps asking how much I got, what I'm planning to do with it, if I'm going to invest or save it. She never cared about any of that stuff before. Trust your gut." I meant it. If something feels off, it probably is. "And protect your money. Get a separate account she doesn't have access to." Already did that. He looked relieved. "Thanks, man. I needed to hear from someone who gets it. Anytime." A year after the settlement, I moved into an even better apartment. The logistics company was worth 3 times what it had been when I joined, which meant my 25% stake had grown considerably. I was making more money than I'd ever imagined, doing work I actually enjoyed, and living exactly how I wanted. I furnished the new place entirely by myself. No compromises, no one telling me the couch I liked was ugly or the paint color was wrong. Just me, making my space exactly how I wanted it. Greg called me one random Tuesday. "Got a proposal for you. What's up? I want to buy out your stake. $800,000 for your 25%. I almost dropped my phone. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," he laughed. "The company's growing fast and I want to consolidate ownership. But here's the thing, I don't actually want you to take the deal." "What?" "I'm testing you." Greg's voice got sincere. "I want to see if you're in this for a quick payout or if you actually care about what we're building. Because honestly, Luke, you're too valuable to lose. In another year, your stake will be worth even more." I don't want to sell. The answer came easy. I like what we're doing here. I believe in this company. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Greg sounded genuinely pleased. "Welcome to the long-term team partner." After we hung up, I sat there thinking about how far I'd come. A year ago, I was pumping gas and getting insulted by my girlfriend at dinner parties. Now I was a business partner making real money and actually building something that mattered. I even started dating again, casually at first. I met someone named Claire at a business networking event. She ran her own marketing firm and we connected over shared experiences building our companies from scratch. We talked for hours about entrepreneurship, about the challenges of growth, about balancing work and life. I didn't tell her about the settlement or my business stake at first. I just wanted her to know me as Luke, not as Luke with money. We went on simple dates, grabbed coffee, took walks, went to movies, normal stuff. 3 months in, I finally told her about everything. The settlement, the business partnership, all of it. We were at dinner and I just figured she should know. Claire listened to the whole story, including the Jessica parts, and when I finished, she just smiled. "That explains why you're so careful about money conversations. You've been burned before." "Pretty badly, yeah. For what it's worth, I sold a business a few years ago, made about $400,000. I lost a lot of friends when that happened. People got weird, started asking for loans or investment money, treated me differently. So you get it, I really do." She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "I liked you before I knew about your money, and I still like you the same amount now. You're a good person, Luke. You work hard, you're honest, you treat people well. That's what matters." I felt something in my chest relax that I didn't even realize was tense. "Thanks. That means a lot." Claire and I kept dating. It felt different from Jessica in every way. Easier, more natural, like we were actually partners instead of one person constantly proving themselves to the other. Then something completely unexpected happened. I got a message from Jessica's mom. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. "Luke, I wanted to reach out and apologize for how my daughter treated you. I've learned more about what happened and I'm ashamed of her behavior. She's been through 2 more relationships since you, both ending because of her materialism and dishonesty. She hasn't learned anything. I hope you found happiness. You always deserved better than what she gave you." I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me felt vindicated. Part of me just felt sad that Jessica was still out there treating people the same way she treated me. But mostly I felt grateful that I'd gotten out when I did. I responded simply, "Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate the apology. I have found happiness. I hope Jessica eventually figures things out. Take care." I didn't hear anything after that, and I was fine with it. A few weeks later, something wild happened at work. We got an acquisition offer. A regional shipping corporation wanted to buy our logistics company. They'd been watching our growth and were impressed with our numbers and our customer service ratings. The offer was massive. If we sold, I'd walk away with $2.3 million for my 25% stake, plus a 2-year consulting contract that paid $15,000 monthly. Greg called an emergency meeting with all the partners. We sat around the conference table looking at the offer paperwork, none of us quite believing the numbers. "This is life-changing money," one partner said. "Like retire in our 30s kind of money. But we've built something real here." The other partner looked torn. "Are we really ready to walk away from it?" Greg looked at me. "Luke, you've been here the shortest time, but you've had the biggest impact on our growth. What do you think?" I thought about it carefully. This is way more money than I ever imagined making, but I also love what we do here. I love the work, the team, the challenge of it all. So I guess the question is, are we selling because it's the smart move, or because the money is too good to pass up? That's the question. Greg nodded. And honestly, I think it's the smart move. We can take this money, consult for 2 years to make sure the transition goes smoothly, and then start something new if we want, or just retire and live our lives. We debated for 2 weeks. Every angle, every possibility, every pro and con. Finally, we decided to take the deal. The acquisition offer was just too good, and truthfully, we'd built the company to a point where the next level of growth would require way more capital and infrastructure than we currently had. I signed the papers on a Thursday morning. Just like that, I went from gas station employee to millionaire business owner to guy with over $2 million in the bank, plus a consulting contract that would pay me $360,000 over the next 2 years. Combined with my remaining settlement investments, which had also grown, I had achieved financial security beyond anything I'd imagined when I was working overnight shifts at that gas station. Greg shook my hand after we signed. "You did good, kid. Really good. You too. I meant it. Thank you for taking a chance on me." Best decision I ever made. We all went out for drinks to celebrate. The 4 of us, former partners, talking about our plans for the future. Greg wanted to travel. The other 2 partners were talking about starting new ventures. I honestly had no idea what I wanted to do next, and that felt amazing. That evening, I called Claire and told her everything. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. "Luke, oh my God, that's incredible, I know." I couldn't stop smiling. I still can't quite believe it. "We need to celebrate. Come over, I'm making dinner." That night, sitting in Claire's kitchen while she cooked and we talked about the future, I realized something. This was what happiness felt like. Not the money, though, that was nice, but the freedom to choose what came next, the security to take risks, the confidence that came from knowing I'd built something real, and the knowledge that I'd done it all without Jessica, despite her thinking I'd never amount to anything. My phone buzzed one last time, a final message from a number I didn't recognize. "Luke, this is Jessica. I know you have me blocked everywhere, but I need to talk to you. Things aren't going well, and I could really use a friend. Can we please just talk?" I looked at the message for maybe 5 seconds. Then I blocked the number and put my phone away. Claire looked over. "Everything okay? Everything's perfect?" I walked over and kissed her. Absolutely perfect. And it was. The gas station settlement had been life-changing. The business partnership had been incredible. But the real win? Walking away from someone who never valued me and finding my own path forward.